Hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now this is it. This is the video, the end of year video. This is the big one. This is my top 10 films of 2019. Now I know we're a little bit into 2020 now. By a little bit, I mean literally only a week. But the reason it's taking me a couple of days or it's taking me that long to actually get around to doing this video is because I wanted to do a video showing every film I saw this year. I saw 100 films this year, which is incredible for me. And I wanted to rank all of them, which I've been doing on Letterboxd. Anyone that doesn't have me on Letterboxd, my name is James Lack, no spaces, capital J on James and capital L on Lack, lowercase the rest. But I rank every film as I go this year. Every time I see a new film, I pop it on there. And I thought, you know, I want to bring this list to you guys in a video. So I done the whole video, filmed it all. I wanted to put that one up first because I thought those who are going to sit through that, because it's going to be a very long video, deserve to have it first, I thought. And then the editing messed up. I had no idea till it uploaded. But the top 4, I got to number 5, and the top 4 weren't in the video. The video cut a bit short. So I do apologise for those people who watched it. I've seen your comments. I've been so busy, I haven't got around to replying yet. But we are going to do the top 10 here, so you will see the top 4 here. Now, before we get started, I want to say 2019 was a fantastic year for movies. One of the best in a while. 2014, 2017, I thought were fantastic years. 2019 has been another fantastic year. I thought 2018 was one of the slightly weaker years for films, so it's good that 2019's come back strong. I really do think it's been one of the best years for films since I've been a big movie fan. As I say, I go 14, 17 and now 19. Great years for films. It's been a great year for me, great year for this channel. That again, I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if it weren't for the amazing people who come here and watch me. I'm really looking forward to 2020. I'm gonna have a predictions video up soon. Probably be my next video, like top 10 most anticipated films of 2020. In terms of the channel, I'm planning on putting a lot more effort into this channel and making this my main channel. Because for those of you who know me, I have another channel, my music channel, Rockboy680, which I've had for about 7 or 8 years. And I've got about over 5,000 followers on that channel now, which is crazy. But because I don't know as much about music, I am planning to make this my main channel in 2020. So for those of you who love your movies and have been following this channel, I am planning to put a lot more effort and thought into this channel in the coming months. So for those of you who like this channel, like listening to me talk about films, hey, it's going to be an exciting year coming up because I do plan to push this channel forward a lot more. That being said, so I got 10 films here that I want to talk about. Some of them you guys already know from the last video, but I'm sure most of you probably didn't watch that because it was a very long video. But I got a couple honourable mentions as well, which I'm going to quickly shout out now. Fighting with My Family was a film that came out very early on in the year, written, produced and directed by Mr. Stephen Merchant about the WWE style Paige, and I thought it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It was a great film, starring Nick Frost. Vince Vaughn was in it. Dwayne Johnson's in it. So yeah, nice little cast there. And we've also got Dr. Sleep, starring one of my very favourite actors, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mr. Ewan McGregor himself. It's a sequel to The Shining. This film forced me to watch The Shining for the first time in my life. I was very nervous to watch it. Very nervous to watch both films. I loved The Shining and I loved Dr. Sleep. It is one of the best sequels we've ever got. It's very much the horror version of Blade Runner 2049, where it's so good and it goes under the radar so much, which was a real shame. But it was a really good film. Booksmart was a little comedy film released, I think on Netflix in America, whereas here in the UK, we primarily got this one in the cinema. But it was a great film, really good. In terms of characters, the 2 characters that you follow in this film, I've never got behind 2 characters so much. They really push this film forward and you are caring every step of the way for them. Joker is a film which most people have put in their top 5. I think there's been a little bit of getting carried away with this film, unfortunately. I think it's a great film. I think the performance that Joaquin Phoenix gives is incredible. I think the score is fantastic. The cinematography is beautiful. And this is a really, really good film. I put it number 13 out of my 100 films, so I like it a lot, obviously. But I think people are overlooking how weak the script actually is at times, and it really lets the film down compared to these films that are above it, I think. And also I want to give a shout out to Rocketman. Really love Rocket Man. I'm a big Elton John fan. They picked to do Elton John in the 70s. My favourite period for Elton John. And Taron Egerton gives a fantastic performance. And The Lighthouse as well, I also want to give a shout out to. It was unique, it was really good. Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson both give great performances. And yeah, overall, just a really, really cool film. But those are my honourable mentions. Should we get started with number 10? Ready or not, number 10, that's right. This is a film which... it had a very small budget, and it made, I think it nearly, I think it hit around the 100 million mark, so it definitely done well. It's a horror film, which kind of just come out of nowhere. I didn't watch a single trailer for this film going into it. My very good friend was saying, we got to go see this film, it's going to be great. And I was going, okay, all right, I'm trusting you, because the horror films that come out this year, it wasn't the best year for horror films, I don't think. We saw this one right after... I think this was the first one we saw after It Chapter 2 as well. And It Chapter 2 disappointed me quite a lot. So I was like, oh, another horror film. Okay, let's do it. Go. And oh my god, it's incredible. So it's the story of this woman who's been brought into this family. And this family are known for making board games. They're very famous for it. They live in this huge mansion. And after they get married, they... the grandson of this guy, the main core family sit down in a room and they play this game. You pick a card and you just got to play the game. However, there's one bad card in there, and the bad card is the family have got to kill this girl by the morning. And she gets the card, of course. So she's going around this house. She thinks it's a fun little hide-and-seek game at first. Family have got weapons. They're coming around looking for her. And then boom, there's your film, and it's fantastic. Not only does this film put you on edge, but it just goes in directions you didn't think it would go. And it doesn't play for those jump scares. It really plays for the creepy side of things, like A Quiet Place did last year with John Krasinski's film, like Jordan Peele's films do with Us and Get Out. It goes for that creepy side, and I like that a lot more than going for the jump scares, because it really ties together a better film. The characters are great. There's a good comedy aspect to it. The sets are beautiful. And overall, the actors do a really good job as well. So, Ready or Not was a really good watch. So number 9 is Uncut Gems. I never thought I'd put an Adam Sandler film in my top 10. I can't remember the last time I walked out of an Adam Sandler film going, I really loved that, because I don't know if there ever has been one. I've got guilty pleasures, like I used to like Click and the first Grown Ups and Big Daddy, I think it was called, something like that, from the 90s. Honestly, the last one I actually walked out of going, I enjoyed that, was Grown Ups, but I don't think I've ever come out an Adam Sandler film saying I love it. And this is the first one. Uncut Gems was incredible, considering Adam Sandler's latest couple entries have been absolutely terrible. They've all been Netflix releases. We got Murder Mystery this year, which just wasn't good. You just don't expect much from this man anymore. And it's a shame, because I think he is a really good actor, and he shows it here. I'm shocked he wasn't up for Best Actor at the Golden Globes. Hopefully the Oscars, that can change, because he needed to be going up for it. It's just one of those things where it come out of the blue and you get so behind this character that he's playing. You're so invested, because Adam Sandler gives a great performance. The whole film is a ball of stress, and it's gritty and really, really, like, engaging, I think is the best way to describe it. There's no way you can put this film on, pause it, and even just go to get a drink. Like, can't do it. You are stuck and you're like, no, I can't even look away. I need to know what's happening. And I think that is the beauty of it. It is directed so well. And number 9, Uncut Gems, is a really, really good film. Marriage Story is a Netflix release, which is crazy. Every year Netflix seems to get one or two like straight up masterpieces, and this is definitely Netflix's movie this year. Marriage Story is incredible. Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver give what I believe are probably two of the best performances this year. I really wanted Adam Driver to get Best Actor at the Golden Globes. Didn't happen. Again, I can't knock it. Joaquin Phoenix was amazing as the Joker. Oscars, hey ho, maybe things are going more in my direction. Scarlett Johansson, also incredible, and she would probably get Best Actress for me this year. I think the two performances in this film carry it. It's incredible. Not only that, but as someone who doesn't have any experience with divorce in terms of, like, my parents are still together, none of my grandparents divorced, it was a very, very interesting take on it for me, seeing the legal side of stuff, because I don't know much about that. So I think for me, it really hit a lot harder, and it was just, I found it so fascinating to watch. I found it so interesting how this story was playing out, and I found everything about this film just done to near perfection, like the pacing, the editing, the score. It was just all flying together so well, and Marriage Story overall was just a pretty flawless film. Number 7 is John Wick Chapter 3. Sometimes you go to the cinema and you just really want to have fun. And I remember sitting down to watch John Wick 2 a couple years ago thinking, right, well, this is it. This one's not going to be good. It just won't be. These films don't get better. This type of film doesn't normally get better unless for some reason you're Mission Impossible. But what the hell? It done it. It got better, John Wick 2. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. I love it. I'm so invested. And I loved the cliffhanger of John Wick 2, and I was so happy when John Wick 3 picked up straight from there. And oh my God, John Wick 3 is even better than 2, I think. Personal opinion, I thought this was the best one. This film has a couple over-the-top action sequences, but it was great. The action sequences in this are probably the best action sequences I've seen all year in film, in terms of the choreography and the editing and the pacing. It's just fantastic. I love the gore side of it. There's some real moments where you go, ooh, and you can really feel the hits. They really feel like they hurt. Keanu Reeves is fantastic in this role. The last half hour, this closing fight scene, I thought was just so entertaining and so well put together. The only bit of the film I felt it dipped was when you get to the Halle Berry bit. It just drops a little bit, the film, I think. But then after that, it really picks straight back up. And overall, you've got a really, really fantastic action film. It's Toy Story 4. Yep, it's a little bit of personal biasness here. And I think, you know, everyone has their little bit of personal biasness. It's to what films you really want to make your top 10 and what films you can't quite get away from your top 10. I wish I could have put Star Wars in there this year, but unfortunately I couldn't. But Toy Story, I definitely did. I love Pixar. I grew up with Toy Story. It come out, I was born in 97, so I come into this world right as Toy Story did. Toy Story 2 I loved. I remember going to see Toy Story 3 in the cinema and loving it. So I was there for Toy Story 4. And I was one of the people going, don't do a fourth one. The third one, they did so well. But what the hell? They done another fantastic ending. And this has to be it now, surely. Has to be it. The ending was beautiful. In terms of the animation, it's incredible. There's a shot with this cat in the film, which I thought was amazing. And then I saw people doing comparisons. Because in the first film, you have Sid's dog. And they compared the animation from then. Obviously, that's the 90s. But it shows how far Pixar have come in the animation. They showed the dog from the first one and the cat from the last one. It's incredible. The voice actors all round just do a fantastic job. Tom Hanks is incredible. I'm not sure who voices this doll, this villainous doll, but I thought she was amazing. Forky, I was ready to hate him when I went in there. I was like, this character's going to be so annoying. But you know what? I come out and I loved him. I thought, yes, love Forky. Love it. Great addition. There was just some fantastic moments throughout this film. It doesn't stop. It goes at a great speed. The pacing is fantastic. The heart and the warmth to this film is beautiful. And I've really got no complaints with Toy Story 4. I thought it was a pretty damn near perfect film. Okay, so this is where we got to in my top films from worst to best. All of them, like the 100. So after this film, it's all new stuff, guys. Us, Jordan Peele's second entry into his little horror world that we're diving into. So we had Get Out in 2017, which I absolutely loved. And I think was probably just a smidge better than this one. Just a smidge. But I loved Us. I was very excited to see this. I was very curious. I didn't know what to make of the trailers. I didn't really know how he was going to follow this up, whether he'd make another great film or whether it'd be kind of a so-so film. And I truly believe he made a great film here. The uniqueness here is fantastic. I'm pleased he didn't fall into that category of just going for jump scares again. And he went for a more creepy aspect, which I think works really well. there were just so many elements to this film which I really enjoyed. I like the mystery of it. There was a lot of mystery. Even at the end, when they start explaining certain things, there's still a lot of mystery there at the end, which I loved. The actors all done a fantastic job. Absolutely fantastic. The editing was great. And I just loved the way this film played out. From start to finish, I was intrigued. And by the end, I didn't feel disappointed. I ended up walking away thinking, that was a really, really good film. And I sat at my number 2 spot for the longest time this year. But then another 3 films come out later this year, which pushed it back to number 5. And speaking of those films, I haven't spoken about these ones yet. And for those of you who don't follow me on Letterboxd, you guys don't know what these ones are. So let's get started into unknown territory. Let's go to number 4. Taika Waititi. What a man. So I'll admit, I got introduced to this guy from Thor Ragnarok. I'd heard of him, but I didn't know much about him. So I watched Thor Ragnarok, really enjoyed that film, one of my favourite Marvel films. Went to see Jojo, obviously had a great time, it's number 4. Funny enough, literally last night I watched Hunt for the Wilder People and What We Do in the Shadows and absolutely loved them. What We Do in the Shadows I particularly loved. Jojo Rabbit is just... What can I say about this film? Who would have thought that a comedy film about Nazi Germany would go over so well, where a Jewish man is playing Hitler in a comedic aspect? But that's the thing, it isn't just a comedy film. This film has everything. There's some horror moments, there are some real, like, intense moments, some real sad moments. This film has everything. It mixes so many genres together, but it doesn't feel overcrowded or bloated. It all plays off each other really well. But overall, the comedy aspect is one of my favourite things about this film. It's quirky and fun and weird. Feels like a Wes Anderson movie, which I love. Taika Waititi is great in it. It's got the cast is incredible. All of the kid actors. You've got the 2 young kids, and then there's the young Jewish girl in it. They're all incredible. Scarlett Johansson is also fantastic again in this. Another film with Scarlett Johansson. All of them. Stephen Merchant. Absolutely incredible. Just loved this cast. Loved everything about this film. The sets were beautiful. The scenery, just incredible. The costume designs were fantastic. Cinematography was also really good. The pacing, the editing. Everything about this film was really good. I've got no complaints. So, Knives Out is my number 3. Now, like Jojo Rabbit, I actually got to go see this one on an unlimited screening. Got to go early to see this film. I got to go see Jojo early. There was another film I went to see called A Beautiful Day in the Neighbourhood, which I think was my 25th favourite film with Tom Hanks. Got to go see that one early as well. But Knives Out, I didn't watch a trailer for this one either. Didn't watch a trailer for it. I thought, I want to go into this one blind. I thought it might be more interesting. I am a big Rian Johnson fan, okay? Love Looper. Great film. I'm someone who sticks up for The Last Jedi. I really am. I like The Last Jedi a lot. It's not perfect, but I like it a lot. So I felt really bad all the backlash Rian Johnson's got over the last couple of years, because I really do think he is one of the most fantastic directors we've got at the minute, and I think he's proven it here again. Knives Out is original, it's creative, it throws you in so many different directions, and you come out just thinking, oh my god, I didn't think this film could get better, but it keeps getting better. And there are just so many aspects to this film which I just absolutely love. All of the actors do a great job. The standouts, Daniel Craig, his accent is a bit over the top at points in this film, but it works really well and it is kind of funny. I like it. Also, I've got to touch on Chris Evans, because this is his first film after playing Captain America on the big screen, because he did have Red Sea, but this is his first film on the big screen after Captain America, and he's gone from playing the most humble guy ever to pretty much a complete dick. But he has some hilarious lines. The cinematography is great. This film could have really suffered if it wasn't edited and paced well. But both of those things are done so well that you don't get lost in this story, because there's a lot that goes on in it. And because of how well it is directed, you don't get lost. Knives Out is a really solid film. Number 2 is going to Ford versus Ferrari. Now, this was my number 1 for a while. I kept flip-flopping this one and my number 1 back-to-back, because this is the film I think I walked out of the cinema this year. It's the one where I walked out and went, That is the most flawless film I've seen this year, and it's really got snobbed at the the Golden Globes. Sorry, and I'm sure it probably will at the Oscars as well. Matt Damon and Christian Bale are just incredible in his performances. Christian Bale's accent, and I believe that is actually his real voice, or leaning towards what he actually sounds like in real life a bit more. And I was just so taken back by it. It took me a bit to get used to it, but once I did, I was fine. This true story, of course, about Le Mans 66, when, of course, the Ford tried to beat Ferrari around the track, and I won't spoil it for those of you who don't know the true story, but the ending is one of the most important moments in racing and car history, and this film goes for it. It shows you how hard these people had to work at Ford to beat the arrogant men at Ferrari, and it is incredible. Not only is the film just edited and paced well, so you just feel you're not getting lost and you're still invested the entire time. These characters are fleshed out to their max. The cinematography is beautiful. The set designs and the cars, they all look fantastic. Everything about this film just really, really, really works, and I honestly don't have a complaint about it, and it could very easily be my number one. But, like we were talking about with Toy Story 4, a little bit of personal biasness has made this film my number one. Avengers Endgame. Yes, there are a couple problems with it. Inconsistencies in terms of storytelling. Well, if Doctor Strange could do this, why didn't he do that in the last film? If this character could do this, why don't I do that? Thing with the Marvel universe is it's a huge universe of these overpowered superheroes. You've got gods like Thor and Captain Marvel who can do all sorts of stuff. And then you've got the smaller ones like Ant-Man and Spider-Man, and then you've got even smaller ones than that, like Black Widow and Hawkeye, who really don't technically have powers. So they have a lot of balancing to do in this. The reason I've put this film at number one is because I walked out of Infinity War going, that was really good, but I didn't love it. And I feel like that with a lot of Marvel films. I'm not like, I love Marvel a lot. Obviously, I've got all the films, I've got all the art books and the soundtracks. I like Marvel a lot. It's one of my favourite things, but it's not on the level of like Star Wars for me. I'm a much bigger Star Wars fan. But the reason I wouldn't say I'm like a massive, like, diehard, humongous Marvel fan, because I've only ever walked out of one Marvel film before, that being Captain America and the Winter Soldier, saying that was just mind-blowingly great. So I walked out of Infinity War going, that was really good, but there wasn't enough character development in there for me. I know it was a set-up film, but, you know, I still wanted a bit more. The pacing was a little bit off as well. I walked out going, yeah, it was really good, really enjoyed it, but wanted a bit more oomph. And Endgame really gave that to me. Seeing these characters at their lowest, seeing them come back strong was great. The film was just paced so well. They had a tough job to do because the characters get separated again. They handled it so much better than they did in Infinity War in terms of going back and forth between these characters. It didn't feel too crowded or over bloated. Considering it is, on paper, I'm imagining a incredibly confusing plot. They kept it together so well through the fantastic directing of Joe and Anthony Russo. All the actors done an incredible job. Scarlett Johansson again in this film. Yeah, Robert Downey's fantastic. Chris Evans is also incredible because he didn't get much to do in the Infinity War one. And the last 20 minutes of this film are maybe the best 20 minutes I've ever seen on the big screen. It's one of those few times this year where I've actually put my fist up, going, yes, go, go, go. And it's hard for films to get people to do that. And in terms of a payoff film, this is the end of a saga. This is the end of the Infinity Saga. Technically, Far From Home is kind of the last one, technically. Even I really like that film as well. By the way, this is the M1. It was such a good ending. It really was. And then we had Game of Thrones and Star Wars this year. Woo! But no, I couldn't not give it to Avengers in a way, because walking out the cinema after seeing Avengers, I was on cloud nine. Like, I just watched one of the best films ever. I was pumped and stupidly excited, and that's the reason why I don't think I could knock it down from its number one spot. But yes, there we go. Those are my top 10 films of 2019. As always, guys, it is only my opinion. You know, it is what it is. But hey, I look forward to seeing what your guys' top 10s are down in the comments below. Maybe your top 10 worsts as well. Hey ho, we'll see. But that is it for this video, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye bye.